my name is Sonia, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Halloween traditions and how they came into our country. I have an interest in it because I have Irish in my family tree, and I just found it really interesting. November the 1st was actually All Saints' Days, and the Celtic people were the ones who originated the tradition. They set aside November the 1st to honor the deceased family and friends, and anyway, they believed that ghosts would come out of their graves the night before. All Saints' Eve was what it was called at one point. Halloween was what it was called as it gradually grew, and then it became Halloween. Bonfires actually hold special powers for the Celtic people. They believed that that would ward off evil spirits. And so anyway, there was a tale that about Jack the blacksmith. Jack the blacksmith was a real con artist. He was a drunk, and he, was an Irishman, and Satan decided he was going to pay a visit. So he goes and he finds Jack and everything. He goes, "I'm going to take you with me." And he said, no, how about get me something to drink before we go? So anyway, he takes him to a pub and he gets him something, to drink. And he goes, "Well, no, we got to pay the bartender." And so Satan turns himself into a coin. And then Jack put Satan in his pocket with a crucifix. So anyway, Satan made a deal. He's not going to mess with Jack for 10 more years. 10 years came around, and Satan comes back, and he says, "Okay, it's time to go. You're going with me." And then of course Jack said, "I'm mighty hungry." And so basically, he talked Satan into climbing an apple tree to get him an apple. And while he was up in the apple tree, he ran around and he was planting crucifix all the way around. And so anyway, Satan decided, "I'm not messing with this guy anymore. I'm just going to leave him alone." So anyway, he proceeded to, when Jack died, he went to heaven. And when he got to heaven's gates, they said, "No, we're not taking you." Then he went to Hades, and they said, "We're done with you." And so now he kind of like walks around between the living and the dead with the ember from like the bonfires. And that's his only means of light. Anyway, the Celtic people were really suspicious people, or they liked to know, I guess I shouldn't say suspicious, they liked to know what was ahead, okay? They would predict the future with the food and everything like that, and they would blindfold somebody, and they would back into a cabbage patch, pull up a cabbage, and if the cabbage had lots of roots, then that meant that they were going to be wealthy. If they pulled up a cabbage that was thin, they were going to have a thin spouse, and if it was a big one, they thought, well, they were going to have a big spouse. Everything was tied to marriage and stuff like that. So anyway, I totally screwed up. Okay, the Irish traditions of hollowing out beets and beets and turnips was a tradition, and they would take embers from the bonfire, and then they would put them in their windows to protect their homes from evil spirits. So anyway, these people that were Celtic brought about a very good Halloween tradition, and they still enjoy it today with their family and friends. And